What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. So today we figure out one of the biggest asked questions about the Can-Am X3. If you do the shock flip, what difference does it make? And do I have to cut my plastics? Find out in this episode because we're flipping my shocks and going to the dunes for testing. So stay tuned.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. So a lot of you guys are flipping your shocks, or I should say rotating your shocks, going from one side to the other and putting the reservoir on the outside right here. So I figured I'm gonna try to do it and see if there's actually any benefits. Now, I have driven the Can-Am plenty on the dunes. I know how it handles. I know how the suspension feels. I'm gonna rotate the shocks, put the Ruzzies on the outside. I have my sway bar links disconnected or taken out right now. I'm waiting on my shock therapy sway bar links, which that's a whole nother video. If you guys want to see that, I'll put a link in the description and in the corner up here for you guys to check it out. There's a bunch of people that are saying, yes, I had to trim out the plastic. No, I did not have to trim out the plastic. So I'm going to be doing it on my 2021 XDS. We're going to see if it works and what difference I'm going to feel. We're going to rotate the shocks and we're going to do a trip to the dunes and see how that goes. If there's no negative impact, I'll leave it with the reservoirs on the outside. Let's get cracking. All right, so both shocks are out. This one's from the driver's side, this one's from the passenger side. So that one's gonna go on the passenger side and this one's gonna go on the driver's side now. All right, so the cool factor, absolutely. I think it's definitely there. The fact that you could see the Fox on there and it gives it definitely a beefier look. What I am going to do right now, since I do have my sway bar links off, I am going to try to flex it out all the way on each side and see if this is going to come in contact with the plastic right here. So we'll try that out. All right, so definitely don't try this at home, but I can tell already I'm not even at full bump. So I got about 2 inches left here, and basically I am just about to touch here. So I think it is going to need trimming, but I don't think it's going to need that much trimming. I would say probably a ½ an inch would be sufficient enough to be able to clear for full bump. So I got my line marked where I am going to be trimming, and I am just going to notch it like that. Same thing on this side. So it's about right down the middle where it would touch, and I'm going to just go ahead and cut it with the rotary. So I did sand it afterwards a little bit, and then I used a torch lighter to smooth out the edge and get that edge back to black. Because when you do cut it, it's going to leave like a little white edge on it. Slightly heating it up will get rid of that whole white edge. All right, so you can see what the difference is between this one and the one that's not cut. Honestly, there really isn't much difference. You can't really even see that anything was done unless you know what you're looking for. I know if I'm going to be trying this out, I need to notch it so I don't get it kicked up in here and break my plastics or scratch up my beautiful Fox decal. All right, I'm going to trim that one up. So I got the other side trimmed up and matched to this side. Got all my hardware tightened up. Everything is good. So I gotta say, I do see one benefit to it. Just the way that it sits right now is the fact that the reservoirs are gonna get a lot more airflow going through them than they did being hidden inside here behind everything. If you've ever touched your shock after riding some whoops and being on the trail, they do get a bit toasty. So the fact that it's gonna get a little bit more airflow going through it, that could be a benefit, I guess. And then looking at it as far as adjustability goes, like adjusting your preload and crossovers and stuff like that, I don't think it's going to be an issue at all, really. You can loosen stuff up here, turn your spring just as if you would normally. I don't see any problems with that. So far, the only really big drawback that I see, and it's really not a big deal, is having to trim this plastic a little bit. But if you do it right and take your time, really, it shouldn't be an issue. If you're looking at it from the front, honestly, like I said before, if you don't know what you're looking for, you wouldn't even know it's there. At this point, looking at it, if there's no negative effects of this, and the fact that the shocks are going to get more airflow going through them, I'm considering just leaving it like this, especially since I already trimmed up. It definitely adds to the beef factor. Feels like it got the front end chubbied up. So I do like that look. I am eye candy horse, so for me, this right here, this look is really awesome actually. The fact that you could see the reservoirs on it. I'm not going to change anything on the shocks right now. I do have to do a little bit of tuning on them, so I'm not going to change anything on that right now. I do want to see exactly if there's going to be any difference with the same exact setup out on the dunes, hitting the whoops and driving around, and see how it does. We're going to get this thing loaded up on the trailer and head out to the dunes in the morning. All right, so we're here at the dunes, Silver Lake Sand Dunes in Michigan, and I have been running this setup now for, I want to say about 5 days on the dunes with the shocks rotated. With the amount that I trimmed out, it clears it perfectly, and I've compressed the suspension all the way. I mean, I've even bottomed out. The shocks don't touch at all. Is there a significant difference in the way it performs? Honestly, nothing that I noticed at all, and I drive it extremely hard. Every time we're at the dunes, I'm very hard on it. So 2 days ago, I did do the Fox tune on it, and from there on out, I kind of played around with it, find my own settings that I like. I did slow down the rebound a little bit from the Fox tune, and the front is actually, the rebound is what was factory. I found that works the best for me. When I jump the car, I'm able to stay level without the nose diving down by slowing down the rear rebound. Here at the dunes, I've done slower speed jumps, high speed jumps with it. On the slower stuff, it does tend to kind of pitch forward a little bit. On the high speed, it stays pretty much level. If anything, almost the rear end sinks slightly below, and this is the way that I like it. As far as the Fox Tune, I would definitely recommend it. Does it have any adverse effects on the suspension if you rotate your shocks? And the answer is no. So as far as it goes for me, I'm going to be obviously keeping it this way. If you are going to be running limit straps on it, you're probably going to have to flip the shocks anyway. Kind of gives me more room on the inside here as far as like doing any sort of shock tower brace or anything like that. And then also, if you are going to be going street legal, you can even use that space in between your shock tower right here in order to get some clearance to put a windshield sprayer for your windshield. Other than that, I'm gonna go rip it some more.